Good afternoon, people. It's Jacob on the one up top. I'm not even going to waffle on anymore. It's the game that I always look forward to. It's the North London derby. So all I'm going to say, like, share, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video because I don't know what's going to happen in this game, but I'm guaranteeing you'll probably enjoy it, regardless of being an Arsenal fan, a Tottenham fan, or a neutral. As you can obviously see, I can see it from the screen myself. I'm obviously nervous. This game just does me, man. I can't deal with the emotions in it. But at the same time, when I look back, I've enjoyed every single one in a weird way. But first and foremost, we'll do the lineups. We go to Arsenal first. I'm going to try and do it off memory because I haven't got the lineups in front of me. So we got Raya in goal, Ben White right back, Timber left back, Saliba and Gabriel in the middle, Partey, Jorginho and Trossard in midfield, and then Martinelli, Saka and Havertz up front. So if I want to go to the Arsenal team, probably what I predicted. I didn't think maybe Havertz might drop in one and that allow for Sterling to start, but I've just heard it on the radio that Sterling's on the bench. When I look at Arsenal's bench, there's quite a lot of youngsters on there. I think the only players that I can see Arteta bringing on, if need be, would be Kivior, Sterling and Jesus. And when you looked at the players that they got missing, I didn't even realise it today. They've actually got quite a lot of players missing. They've got the new signing, Calafiori, Tomiyasu, I think, was on there. Obviously, Rice and Odegaard. So, yeah, for once, our bench probably looks a little bit stronger in terms of thickness, but they've just got the better personnel. I don't think there's anyone on our bench as good as Sterling. Actually, I know there ain't. Same with Jesus. Kivior, probably just as good as Dragusin. Go to our lineups. A surprise one. There's no Basuma through to injury. Sar's on the bench. So we go with Pedro Porro right back, Udogie left back, Vicario obviously in goal, Van de Ven and Romero in the middle as always, Bentancur, Kulusevski and Maddison as a midfield three, Brennan Johnson to the right, Son to the left and Solanke starts up front. Just been on the phone to my friend now. That lineup of ours scares me because on the plus side, keeping the ball, if we're keeping the ball, imagination, creativity, all that stuff, Bentancur, Kulusevski and Maddison, you can't really ask for more in terms of the personnel that Spurs have got. My fear is that if Arsenal hit us on the counter-attack, I don't see any one of them three making a tackle like a Basuma or a Sarr would. So, especially with Basuma being injured, I thought Sarr would be a shoo-in. But at the same time, I'm guessing Ange is kind of said, let's go for it. If we're not taking our chances like we're normally doing, maybe it does make sense to play all attackers. But I just think with Arsenal probably going to play us on the counter because, like I've said on previous videos, to beat Tottenham, that's all you got to do. Play two banks of four, keep it tight, nick the ball, look up. And I'll go as far as saying, if you're a midfielder playing the counter-attack against Tottenham, I'll go as far as saying just boot it up the field because you're just booting it up the field with reasonable power. Beats our back four because they've pushed so high up. Our full-backs are up probably behind you. And you got Martinelli, you got Saka, all these guys that can just run onto it. So we got to be mindful, like I keep saying, Ange is going to be the creator of his own downfall because we ain't got a plan B. So if plan A works and all of a sudden we absolutely thump Arsenal, cool. But then there's going to be games, whether it be the Premier League, the Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup, whatever competition there is, there's always going to be a team that they work out our plan A and we ain't got a plan B. So you work out our plan A. That's why we lose to Newcastle. That's why we draw to Leicester. It's becoming a pattern at Spurs. So Ange really needs to fix up and have a plan B, especially if Arteta, who for me is a good coach, figures him out. As simple as that. We look at our bench, probably the healthiest it's been in a while, but is there anyone on the bench that's really going to change it? I mean, Sarr would help us out as in, if we need the legs. You got Bergvall who can get on the ball and do a few bits there. But besides that, Timo Werner, he's just another passenger. Don't understand why we've got him, to be fair. I mean, he's got the pace, he's got everything about him. He just can't finish. And if he's a forward, I don't understand how you can call yourself a forward if you can't finish. It's pretty simple, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to get involved now, soak up the pre-match chat. For me, everyone keeps talking about Tottenham are favourites because Odegaard and Rice are out, but like I've said to a few of my friends, if I'd rather Odegaard and Rice playing and no Partey, because I think Partey sitting in front of probably the best defence in the league, alongside a team like ours that can't finish their dinner, it's a recipe for disaster, especially when we can't sort ourselves out at the back. So I'm going to go to my prediction quickly. I think there's going to be plenty of goals. It feels like anyway. My previous prediction on my previous video was 2-1 Arsenal, and I thought that we might dominate and they'll hit us on set pieces. But I think with the way the game's going, this could be anything. But again, we could play well and lose, and I got a feeling that might happen right now. And it's not me sitting on the fence or making myself feel better in case we win. I generally think we might play well. We'll get on the ball. The fans will get excited, but there'll be a lapse of concentration. Arsenal will end up winning. So I think it's going to be loads of goals. If I was going to do, say, a scorecast, I'd say Saka's probably going to score first, only because he takes penalties and loves the North London derby, and we'll end up losing 3-2. I hope I'm completely wrong. Like I say, you might see me at the end of this video going mad with my shirt off, but I'm a realist when it comes to football, and especially Tottenham, so I would go with Arsenal 3-2. But yeah, man, I'll see you guys at half-time, see what proceedings have come through, and yeah, love always. Happy Sunday. Yes, people. Half-time, 0-0. Somehow, it's 0-0. I can't remember the last time it was a 0-0 at half-time in the North London derby. Normally someone scored by now, but both teams have had chances. Namely, Martinelli should have buried that. If you're not buried it, I thought if anything he was going to pass it to Saka for a tap in. Solanke had a chance where he took too many chances. Should have had a shot. Brennan Johnson's been in a couple of times. Again, the problem with Tottenham is we don't just let it go. Like, there's always a pass that needs to be made. Just have a shot, man. This is what I was saying in the video that I did in the week. It's just like we've got people like Son, Maddison. When they were playing, when Maddison was playing for Leicester, he was shooting from all sorts of places. Son, the same thing under Conte, even, who's classed as a defensive manager, and all of a sudden, like, this most attacking manager that we've had, apparently, like, we're not having long shots. It's like we're trying to walk the ball in, which don't make sense. But probably deserves to be 0-0. Arsenal have had their chances. I think the main talking point is the referee. Like, these are games where you just need Michael Oliver, mate, because this geezer here just don't know what he's doing. He's booking people like Bentancur for what he done. Now, if that's the level that you're setting a booking at, Timber should be sending off. I don't think Timber should have been sent off, but at the same time, Bentancur shouldn't have been booked. So if you're going to set that precedent, it's a sending off then, if you're going to be that soft. He's just giving yellow cards to both sides, left, right and centre. And now it gets to the point where the game becomes very edgy because you've got players that are on the last booking knowing that this referee is just going to give them a yellow card for nothing, which will ruin the game either way. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Arsenal fans will want the Tottenham sending off and vice versa, but at the same time, you'd rather have the 11-11 and brag properly rather than, you beat 10 men or whatever. But, second half's going to be very interesting, As much as we've got players that are on the bench, is there anyone on the bench that will make our team better? Probably Sarr. I'll be calling for Sarr just because Arsenal towards the end of the second half of the first half showed that there's chances there. You've got Bentancur on a yellow, so I think he needs assistance defensively. We can't be relying on one player to break up the attack on his own on a yellow card. So I think Sarr needs to come on. Maddison's doing okay, so does Bergvall deserve to come on? I don't know. No Richarlison on the bench. I think Sarr would come on. Kulusevski would go out to that flank, and I think with Kulusevski, the best we've seen of him is when he's had 2-3 seconds to deliver. So I think him going out on the right, Timber on a yellow card, put him out there and give him a different problem coming inside. But again, I thought there was going to be loads of goals. How wrong am I? But that's the North London derby for you. I could end up saying this now and then end up somehow we're losing like by 4 goals or vice versa. So let's just see how it goes second half. I I just hope their end is sending off. So, yeah, see you guys at full time. And there we have it, ladies and gents. Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1. Like, the thing is, I predicted 3-2 at the beginning of this video, but I should have stuck with my guns from the previous video from in the week, because I said that somehow we'll play well, we'll dominate long spells of the game, but Arsenal will hit us on the set pieces. So, you know, if you watched that before, you'd understand I knew what I was going on about, because, you know, that corner, when it went out, I didn't want to say anything and speak it out to existence, but I was just looking at it thinking, here we go. You know, like, Vicario just, mate, I don't understand how that goal has gone in and you can't take any impetus for that. It's so easy to score against Tottenham. It's like, put it this way, if you're a defensive coach and you say to yourself, what is it that you need to do to make sure that your team don't concede goals? You make sure that you don't get hit on the counter, you make sure you're strong at set pieces, and you make sure you concentrate. That's everything that Tottenham don't do. And they wonder why we don't get results when we're playing well. Like, you look at that game, did we deserve to lose that? Based off the overall play, probably not. But based off the fact that we clearly haven't got an idea of what to do at set pieces, we clearly haven't got an idea of what to do in general. It's like, again, like I reiterated at the beginning of this video, plan B. There ain't no plan B. Ange just keeps going, yeah, keep playing the same way and put different players on. Now, if you're bringing off people off the bench, that means that those players aren't as good as the ones that you start with. So you're basically saying just keep doing the same thing with worse players to come on, and we're going to get a result against a team like Arsenal, who are well drilled. You know, you could see, like, Arsenal weren't even bothered. They weren't scared. They weren't panicking. It was just like, yeah, right, we'll just make sure that they don't score. And even if we make mistakes, they won't score anyway. You know, there's so many things that I can look at our team and say that we played well or in the last few games. But the one thing is mentality. And that's the problem at this club. Like, there's no ruthlessness at this club, man. You know, Daniel Levy, he's only ruthless in terms of the money that he makes. Ange is only ruthless in terms of when he speaks in an interview, but the way you come across in an interview, mate, is not what you're doing on the pitch. Like, we're too soft, you know. Like I say, I haven't got no coaching badges. I haven't got anything like that. But for me, it's pretty easy. Like, if I woke up in the morning and I was manager of Brentford next week, and they asked me my opinion, I'd just say, look, it's not hard. Set up a banks of fours and make sure that you don't concede, you know, too many free kicks or whatever. But at the same time, make sure that we get free kicks and corners, because that's where we're going to beat Tottenham. You know, and if not, make sure that we just sit in two banks of four and hit them on the counter. Like, how many times have Arsenal on the counter? And I think that if Martinelli was on job, if Saka was on job, Jesus was even playing, they would have won this quite easily without even playing as well as they can. It's just, you don't have to play well against this Tottenham side. Do you get what I'm saying? And the reason why I wore this shirt today and I won't buy another one is because this is the last time I remember Tottenham being a team that, regardless we didn't win anything, but we had a team that had respect. Like, I'm not being funny. If I played against this Tottenham side, I find it funny playing against them lot, because you earn respect in life and in football, and we don't do anything to deserve respect, you know. Like I say, you got Maddison, you know, everybody does their job, but it's like, we're still trying to walk it into the net. You know, if I'm going to be positive, Solanke played well, done what he needed to do. But again, Saliba got booked because we were playing it direct into Solanke. What do? Oh, you know what? We'll stop doing that. I generally feel that if we kept playing it into Solanke directly, Saliba makes another mistake. Because Saliba, even Gary Neville was saying, his ego was bruised because he's used to having it his own way, and Solanke weren't giving him that. But then we just thought, you know what, cool. Now, that's not on the players, that's on the coach. Because the coach is kind of, how have you not seen that yet and thought, I'm going to push on that? You know, elite coaches will do that. You know, everybody will talk about Mourinho this, Dinosaur that. But Mourinho, if he saw Solanke getting the better of Saliba, who's the best centre-half in the league, like that to the point where he got booked, Mourinho would be like, I don't care, just keep playing it long, because at some point Saliba is just going to get annoyed, and Solanke, you keep throwing your body around. But then Solanke come out of the game because we stopped playing it direct. You know, everything that Tottenham do, you're not going to win games, because we've got a striker that's doing everything in his power, but we're not playing to his strength. Our captain Son is all out of sorts. You know, he'll go score against Everton, but since then he just don't look right. Maddison's meant to be our chief creator, and it's like, he probably is our chief creator if we take our chances, but we don't. So I'm just going to sit there and hold my hands up and go, you know, Arsenal did what they needed to do. You know, my friends that I spoke to said, that's all you got to do, and you got to win the game against us. It's so easy to beat Tottenham. And, you know, there was a reason why I put Gabriel and Saliba and Saka in my dream team, because I knew full well at some point Saka's going to keep taking corners and one of them two is going to score, as well as not conceding. So I've done alright on my dream team as well. But yeah, there's definitely going to be an Only Fools in Tottenham video probably tomorrow or Tuesday, so look out for that. Love, share, subscribe, do all of that. And yeah, all the best for the rest of your Sunday, man. I'm going to just sit there and laugh, really, because we're just going to play Brentford next week and do the same thing again. Jacob, on top.